Let's begin in the NFL, in New York, in the Big Apple, as Aaron Rodgers was traded from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets. And so when it comes to the Jets, ESPN Analytics, they give the Jets a 7% chance to reach the Super Bowl. That's 8th in the NFL. The New York Jets have 12 straight seasons without a playoff berth. So when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, and people are talking about, because Aaron Rodgers is now in New York, everyone's talking about how the Jets are Super Bowl contenders this year and how it would be a major letdown if the New York Jets don't reach the Super Bowl in Aaron Rodgers' first year in New York. And I want to say this when it comes to the Jets. I believe that the Jets trading for Aaron Rodgers instantly made them playoff contenders and possibly a team that could win the AFC East. They belong in the conversation with the Miami Dolphins, with the Buffalo Bills, and even other teams like the Bengals and the Chiefs. With Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, the New York Jets are easily a playoff contender. Easily. They're easily a playoff contender with Aaron Rodgers. Because even last year, with Zach Wilson and Mike White, who were inconsistent quarterbacks, at one point in the season last year, the Jets were 7-4. 7-4 last year. The Jets were a playoff team in the AFC last year through the first 11 or 12 games of the season. They lost their last 6 games, and they finished 7-10. And in their last 5 games, they didn't score 20 or more points. In their last 5 games, the Jets didn't score 20 or more points. So they were 7-4 at one point. They finished 7-10. But now that you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, not Zach Wilson, not Mike White, now that you have Aaron Rodgers, a top 10 quarterback still in the NFL, I believe that the New York Jets are a better football team heading into 2023 than they were last year because you got Aaron Rodgers. So similar to how Tom Brady went to Tampa and he changed the culture, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were at one point a laughingstock in the NFL, became an instant contender. That's the same way we have to view the Jets, because now that you have Aaron Rodgers, he's an upgrade over Zach Wilson and Mike White. So I would assume that the Jets will be better this year compared to what they were last year. And last year, they had an elite defense. I mean, you look at the Jets last year, they had a very, very elite defense led by Sauce Gardner in their secondary. Up front, they got Quinn Williams, Al Woods, Jamian Sherwood at linebacker. This is one of the best defensive football teams in the NFL. The Jets will be a top 5 defensive football team this season. And so when you bring in a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you feel like Aaron Rodgers can get you at least 17 points per game or even 20 points per game, at least. And I believe that that Jets defense will hold opposing teams' offenses to less than 17 points per game. My man Freddie on here. What's up, Fred? What's going on, brother? It's my first time back in a little while. I hope you can hear me. Hear me. Can you hear me, Fred? But with the addition of Aaron Rodgers, that makes the Jets instant playoff contenders. And they are in the conversation with the other elite teams in the AFC, in the Dolphins, in the Bills, with the Bengals, with the Chiefs, with the Chargers, all those teams. You got to throw the New York Jets in that conversation. Now, obviously, we look at the Jets and their skill position players. They got Alan Lazard. They got Mecole Hardman. You still got Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall, he's coming back. from an ACL injury. And I thought Breece Hall last year, he showed a lot of promise last year before he got injured. I saw some flashes from Breece Hall last year, and I was very, very impressed with Breece Hall. They did sign Dalvin Cook in free agency, and I think that was a great, great pickup. Dalvin Cook, the last 4 years, has had at least 1,000 yards rushing. That's tied for the longest active streak in the NFL. The only other running back who has the success over the last 4 years that Dalvin Cook has had is Nick Chubb. So I like their backfield, Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. Love that dynamic duo at the running back position. And again, with Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be better. Now, one thing I got to give Aaron Rodgers credit for, and this is something that he did not do in Green Bay, and it's one of those things. It's like you in a relationship, and you're in a long-term relationship. You break up with your partner, and the things that you wanted your partner to do for you, your partner does instantly in their next relationship. Like, damn, we was together for 10 years, and in the first 3 months, you doing things for that person that you didn't do for me in 10 years. Aaron Rodgers took a $35 million pay cut. Get this. The 2023 quarterback salary for the Jets, Zach Wilson is going to be making more money than Aaron Rodgers this year. Zach Wilson is going to get $9.6 million. Aaron Rodgers is going to get $8.8 million. So that within itself shows me that Aaron Rodgers is serious about being in New York and serious about showing and reminding everyone who the hell he is and why the New York Jets will be Super Bowl contenders with him on their football team. Aaron Rodgers wasn't taking pay cuts in Green Bay. He wasn't taking pay cuts in Green Bay. He took up all the salary cap. He part of the reason why Devontae Adams didn't resign in Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers wanted his money. But in the first few months of being a New York Jet, Aaron Rodgers takes a pay cut. So before they even get to week 1 and how the team is going to perform, the Jets having a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who takes a pay cut is showing the rest of his teammates, hey, I'm here and I'm serious about winning. Because him taking a pay cut allowed the Jets to go out and get a Dalvin Cook. That is what opened the door for them to be able to get an all-pro running back like Dalvin Cook in free agency. Because Aaron Rodgers sacrificed some money, and he's showing and putting his money where his mouth is, per se. Because he's taking a major pay cut. He didn't have to do that. But again, as great as Aaron Rodgers is, and as great as Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall are, as great as the Jets defense is, the Achilles heel for this New York Jets football team is going to be their offensive line. And one of the things that I love about football is, unlike basketball, coaches in the NFL can speak their minds, and they have the organization to back them up. In the NBA, if you are a head coach, if you speak out against your star player, you're lucky if you have a job the following day. The way the NBA coddles their players and their stars, in the NBA, if a head coach criticizes his star, he may not have a job the following day. Seriously. His password to get into the facility may not work the next day if he criticizes his star player. It's not like that in the NFL. And I love that. I love it because you saw with Robert Saleh. This is Robert Saleh on the Jets offensive line. You can have, quote, you can have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can have two $10 million receivers, and none of it matters until the big guys up front change who the bleep we are. We as coaches, we as an organization can't want it more than you. That was Robert Saleh on Hard Knocks, and I loved it. I love Robert Saleh calling out his offensive line because last year The Jets' offensive line was pathetic. They were pathetic. They were 21st in pass block win rate. They were 31st in run block win rate. So this is a football team that has the elite quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. They have a dynamic duo in the backfield with Breece Hall, with Dalvin Cook. They got skill position players, not elite, but who are good, in Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, and Nicole Hartman. They got an elite defense. The biggest weakness on this New York Jets football team is their offensive line. And if they can't protect Aaron Rodgers, all this talk about the New York Jets being Super Bowl contenders or playoff contenders will go right out the window, because they will not make the playoffs if they don't protect Aaron Rodgers. Now you look at their offensive line. At center, they got Connor McGovern. At left guard, you got Laken Tomlinson. Left tackle, you got Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown is old. He's getting older. He can still produce, but he's getting up in age. And then at right guard, you got Ajayi Tucker. Right tackle, you got Becton. When is Becton going to be on the field consistently? We haven't seen Mekhi Becton on the field yet consistently for the Jets. They need him. They need Mekhi Becton to help that offensive line protect Aaron Rodgers. So as great as the skill position players are and Aaron Rodgers and the defense is, if that offensive line doesn't protect Aaron Rodgers, then it could be a long year for the Jets. And they could definitely not live up to expectations and live up to the hype if that offensive line doesn't perform at a high level. So those are my thoughts on the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. If that line can protect A-Rod, the Jets are definitely playoff contenders and might even be Super Bowl contenders, considering how elite that defense is and their skill position players are.